Welcome back to the Pioneer Sideline. I'm your host, Aaron Cooney, episode 138 coming at you. Finish up with basketball. Let's go to a little bit of a smaller of the round ball. We're going to talk baseball here. Chris Hoffman's here to join us. And Chris, we were off a couple weeks. We went up, enjoyed a nice break in Iowa. But during that time, the baseball and softball teams were down in Florida for their yearly tournament there, the Central Invitational down in Florida. And Point Park fared pretty well, Chris, going 7-2 over that time, having a couple tough games. They played number 23 ranked team in the nation, Chris. And also take a look at what they've accomplished. You see 7-2 on the trip, split with number 23 Madonna. And also just over this past week playing Penn State Beaver, a couple other teams, 5-0 over the last week. And Chris, Point Park continues to keep rolling on the way they have from starting early on in the season.
Yeah, they've had a very great start to this season already. 18-3 on the year. That's a great start for the season after a 38-13 season last year. Split with the number 23 team, Madonna in the country. Great way to start. You always want to compete well against the ranked teams. We've seen that from them this year. They defeated a previously undefeated Campbellsville. Split with the number 7 ranked team in the country. And they've played very well against these ranked teams. That's what you definitely want to see out of your out-of-conference record. So when they play in conference with teams against Hone and Fisher, teams they should definitely take care of.
Now, Chris, the pitching has really been carrying this team. And I know you've noticed, you've taken a look, and you have those top three. You have your 3 starters, but from there, the talent that's come in as well has really helped keep this team in baseball games.
Oh, most definitely. The team ERA this year is 2.66. That is very impressive. That is down almost a full run from last year from 3.85, and they've held teams to under a 250 batting average. When you're keeping runners off the baselines, you're not allowing players to get into scoring position, and you're giving your team every chance to win the ball games. And
you mentioned the 3 starters, and also coming in relief. I mean, you got Mike Tullio, he could start if he had to, and up and down Spawn, you got guys like Perdino, and up and down the lineup, the talent that has come in and what Lauren Torres has done for the Pioneers, bringing in guys like this is really kept them competitive thus far when the hitting has kind of lacked.
Most definitely. Hitting down a little bit from last year, but the pitching, you have 3 pitchers all with sub 1.5 ERAs. When you have pitchers that are pitching that low, you know you don't need that many runs to win. You only need 2 runs to win when your pitcher has a sub 2 ERA. The batters have a little bit less pressure on them. They can just swing for fun, take it a little bit more easy, not as stressful. And then relief. When you have good pitchers coming out of the pen and solid starters, then your bullpen's a little bit more relaxed, and when they come in, they're well rested and they're able to compete against the opposing team.
And let's take a look at this hitting, Chris. And you said it's down from last year, but there are some guys there that should be making some noise. Dylan Sowers batted .355 last year, Lee Bodner .351 last year, and they're both down from those stats from last season.
Yeah, both players way down. Lee Bodner only batting .233 this year, a little bit of a disappointment. But what I've really liked is Javier Marty Carrena, the transfer coming in from Florida, has played extremely well. 3 home runs already, 17 RBIs, 571 slugging percentage. He's getting done at the plate right now, where some Pioneers are not. But once this team can get the hitting together, that and the pitching, they can compete for a national title, in my opinion.
And it all comes with that kind of lower key AMC or conference, we should say. Only 3 teams in there with Houghton and Fisher. And Point Park, yeah, they really could go out and take the AMC if they really wanted to. And Chris, a couple games on slate for the Pioneers. They'll take on Penn State, Greater Allegheny. Sonny Canton's coming in as well. How do you see the Pioneers faring in this next week?
I see the Pioneers playing extremely well. The pitching has gone and done so far for them this season. The bats, they need to pick it up a little bit, but once that starts clicking, they can compete with any team in the nation. We've already seen them compete very well against ranked teams. These are teams that they should easily beat, and I see them having another great week coming off last week's 5-0 week.
We will see how that goes on. Chris, thank you very much for joining us. We're going to step away for a break. Hey, don't remember, we're going to have a couple broadcasts for you on 670 AM WPPJ and not on the MSN network. It'll be live on WPPJ. Be sure to tune into the Athletics website. We'll have all that information there for you when we finish up that schedule, and hopefully we'll have some highlights for next week for you. So tune into that next week, and when we come back from this break, Kelly Reed's going to join us and talk a little softball as we preview their season.